Privacy. What is privacy? The correct definition is a state or condition of being free from being observed. We all know what privacy is. Everybody has their own perception of personal privacy. What might be personal to me, the next person can care less if the whole world knows. It's a very debatable conversation. Our society nowadays has become so transparent, and every day, little by little, the standards for our privacy is getting lower and lower. So is privacy a thing of the past? With all these new advancements in technology, some would love to argue that our privacy is flat out gone. The tables have turned, and some people know or could find out more about you than you know about yourself. Creepy, right? How did we get here though? Think of all the new technology that's surfaced or has advanced within the past couple of decades. Cameras, smart TVs, smartphones, computers. Computers nowadays can have software or programs with facial recognition, iris scanners, drones and GPS tracking and satellites. There's no getting away from where we've come. Not to mention some of these newer ideas or advancements that are yet to come. DNA screening and monitoring, work monitoring, vehicle tracking devices as part of an intelligent highway system, personal tracking devices. Think of those tracking devices they put in dogs implanted under their skin. Smart homes in which data is sent in and out. Expanded commercial use of spy satellites. Even now, satellites have the capability to produce HD photographic images of a square meter or less. Oh, and I forgot to mention this little thing called the internet and social media. Facebook alone recorded this past summer of having 1.32 billion active accounts. The FBI and another small surveillance group you might have heard of, the NSA, has teamed up with Facebook. Think about it. You could look anybody you want up and find out all about them. Facebook has masked itself and turned into the world's biggest personal database. I know you guys all read the terms and conditions for signing up for Facebook or Twitter, right? Wrong. Nobody really reads through all that fine print. It's too long, and who has the time for that? Not me. But what are we really signing up for? Or should I say, what are we signing away? It says in the text right there, we may use your personal data. Your personal data like what? What websites you've traveled or shopped on? What your interests and hobbies are? How you interacted on their website? They're really just monitoring everything we do. Do they really care? Why did they take this information and what did they use it for? We leave cyber footprints everywhere we go on the internet. Have you heard of cookies?
What the hell?
Like, how do they know who you are?
Yeah.
Okay. There are these things called cookies, where, like, if you go to a site and buy something, it'll remember you and then create ads for other stuff you might want to buy.
So it learns information about me? Seems like an invasion of privacy.
All search engines like Google and Yahoo use cookies, and all social networks like Facebook and Twitter use cookies. They all allow third parties to use our information.
Very practical tips. First of all, I want everybody here to be careful about what you post on Facebook.
So is it really for our national security? Which of course is a huge concern with all the threats America has had. Terrorism, 9/11. 9/11 really was the catalyst for where we've come today. On October 26, 2001, then President George W. Bush signed into law the USA Patriot Act.
Before me takes account of the new realities and dangers posed by modern terrorists. This new law that I signed today will allow surveillance of all communications used by terrorists, including emails, the internet, and cell phones.
Some argue this act was passed opportunistically since the attacks happened shortly before the law was passed. This act basically is designed to allow law enforcement sweeping authority to monitor electronic communications. This is when you heard the uproar about wiretapping and other surveillance tactics the FBI and other groups use on us. They're trying to catch criminals in the act or before the crime is even committed. For some reason, I know they're trying to be proactive and stop incoming threats and acts of terror, but on the other hand, it reminds me of this movie released in 2002 called Minority Report. In this movie, law enforcement arrests the criminal before they do the crime.
Marks!
Look at me. Look at me. Positive for Howard Marks. Mr. Marks, by mandate of the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division, I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubin that was to take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours, 4 minutes.
No, I didn't do anything. Sarah!
Give the man his hat.
Oh, God. Don't put that halo on me! Sarah!
There's so much potential for getting the wrong person or taking things out of context. People get bored and joke around. People log into other accounts or use the same IP address. How do they know they're getting the right guy? In 2004, the FBI arrested a Brandon Mayfield who spent 2 weeks in jail, accused of being involved with the Madrid train bombings. He later was found innocent. Or what about a 16-year-old teenager in Australia who was on his way to a Pink concert and he was a little too excited to see the artist perform her song, Time Bomb. He tweeted something that sounded bad out of context. He was arrested later and charged. Or if you're from the Peoria area, you might have heard of the Twittergate scandal. This story made national headlines. LA Times, Chicago Tribune. A local Peoria man created a Twitter handle as a parody of the Peoria mayor, Jim Artis.
I started a fake Twitter account under Jim Artis, and I sent out about 50 tweets, and then I was at work and I got a call and to find out that they wanted me to come to the jail, and then I got questioned about the Twitter account.
Right. Yeah, I know, it's just crazy how like Twitter just follows you, or like they can just easily just follow you, anything that you read. I've heard of other crazy stories like that. Like, it's crazy how you just come in and barge in at your work and it's over something that like you really haven't done anything violent or criminal. Like the whole Fourth Amendment, you can say whatever you want to say, like freedom of speech, like this. It's just crazy how they.
And I mean, honestly, if you look at the subject matter of the actual tweets put out, if you really think that it was labeled parody also, but if you see the subject matter that was in these tweets, and you really, really genuinely thought that it was a public official actually putting out these tweets, 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, that guy wouldn't be in office.
He didn't know why he did it. It was obviously a parody, and now Daniels has a lot at stake. He teamed up with the ACLU and has filed a lawsuit against Peoria.
Today is the beginning of holding accountable the city of Peoria and Peoria police officials who led a manhunt not for a criminal seeking to do harm, but instead for a man with a smartphone, a Twitter account, and a sense of humor. The @Peoria Mayor parody account was created to be a joke. I expected that my friends would find it funny and entertaining. I never expected that this joke would make me the target of a police search. I did not expect to be arrested and detained by the police. I did not expect to have my phone and my computer seized. Somehow all of this happened as a result of my joking around about the mayor of Peoria. None of these things should have occurred. My home should have not been searched. My property should not have been seized, and I should not have been detained. I want to thank the ACLU of Illinois for helping me fight against these abuses.
Remember, there are two sides to this argument: our national security and our personal privacy. There's a very fine line drawn here, and I believe the government is crossing it. Just always remember that little eye in the sky. There's always someone watching. Be careful what you post or sign up for. Our privacy is ours.